Welcome to Signature TV News. I am Charles Pius. In the headlines, court orders substituted service on Anambra Assembly and 3 ex-governors. Renaissance University Walker matriculate 200 students. Labour to begin nationwide strike on Monday over new minimum wage. On the foreign scene, Zelensky arrives Singapore for security forum. And in sports, Everton takeover by U.S. private equity firm falls through. Details of this and more in a moment. The Comptroller General, Nigerian Immigration Service, Kemi Nandab, has said that 107,646 passports produced by the service remained uncollected nationwide. The Service Public Relations Service Officer, Mr. Kenneth Udo, said this in a statement on Friday in Abuja. The Comptroller General, however, appealed to applicants whose passports are ready for collection to go for pickup at various passport issuing centers across the country. Nandab lamented that efforts being made at reaching out to the owners had proved abortive. The NIS boss directed that all passport offices in Lagos should operate on Saturdays between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. This, she said, would enable officials attend to applicants coming for the collection of their produced passports only. She said the Nigerian Immigration Service can be reached for further inquiries, complaints, or feedbacks on Twitter and Instagram at NIG Immigration or its official website www.immigrations.gov.ng. The Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty Organization has urged African countries to keep to the agreements on the nuclear weapon testing ban to ensure safety and security in the continent. The Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty is a multilateral agreement which opened for accent in September 1996 and has since been signed by 187 nations and ratified by 178 to prohibit any nuclear weapon tests anywhere in the world by anyone. The Executive Secretary of the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty Organization, Dr. Robert Floyd, spoke at the opening of the 2-day regional workshop organized by the Organization for African States Signatories in Banjul, the Gambia. The workshop held from May 31st to June 1st. He said although 52 states in Africa signed the treaty and enjoyed the organization's membership, 50 ratified it. Dr. Floyd had therefore implored countries yet to ratify the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty to do so in order to achieve desired goals. He said that prior to 1996, there were more than 2,000 confirmed nuclear tests. Some were conducted in Africa, but none was conducted by an African country. Attorney General and Minister for Justice of the Gambia, Mr. Dauda Jallow, commended the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty Organization for organizing the workshop at a time of global tension and conflicts. According to him, the meeting brings together the organization's stakeholders from Africa to discuss and advance the nuclear testing ban policy objective within the region. ECOWAS President Dr. Umar Toure described the workshop as apt and coming at a time Africans needed to partner to tackle the security situation in the continent. The Federal High Court's Awka Division has granted leave to an activist, Dr. Ifeanyi Chukwu Okonkwo, to serve by substituted means the Anambra State House of Assembly and 4 other defendants in a suit challenging the prolonged undemocratic local government administration in Anambra State. The other defendants include 3 former executive governors of the state, Dr. Chris Nwabweze Ngige, 2003 to 2006, Peter Obi, 2006 to 2014, and Willie Obiano, 2014 to 2022, respectively, for themselves and on behalf of the transition chairman and councillors who served under them, and Mr. Levinus Onyenwe for himself and on behalf of the transition chairman under the incumbent governor, Professor Charles Chukwu Masoludo. Recall that Onyenwe was until recently the transition chairman of Anyemelum local government area of Anambra State. The order to serve the defendants by substituted means was made by Justice Hawa J. Yilwa on Tuesday, May 28, 2024, in a suit filed by a former governorship aspirant in Anambra State, Dr. Okonkwo. Justice Yilwa ordered that the originating court's processes, that other processes in the suits should be passed or pasted at the front gate of the last known addresses of the affected defendants, while the photographic evidence showing the bailiff effecting the order should be attached to the affidavit of service filed as proof of service. Upon reading the 17-paragraph affidavit deposed 2 by the plaintiff applicant, dated and filed at the court's registry the 15th day of May 2024, and hearing him in person, the court made an order granting prayers 1 to 4 as applicable to the 6th, 7th, and 8th defendants. The court also ordered that the 4th defendant be served through the office of the clerk of the Anambra State House of Assembly, and that the 5th respondent be served through a last known address within Anambra State, in line with the averment in paragraph 7 of the said affidavit. Meanwhile, the court has fixed Wednesday, July 17, 2024, for the hearing of the substantive suit. The organized labor comprising the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress, TUC, has announced the commencement of an indefinite nationwide strike starting Monday, June 3, 2024. The action is coming as a direct response to the unfruitful negotiations with the government over the proposed minimum wage and the recent controversial increase in electricity tariffs. The negotiations finally collapsed yesterday after a failed 7th attempt by the 37-member tripartite committee to reach a definite new minimum wage figure for Nigerian workers, with the organized labor expressing frustration over the government's lack of commitment and representation at the negotiation meeting yesterday. Our correspondent Nasir Usman was there and now reports.
With inflation now well over 30% as of today, many Nigerians are unanimous in agreeing that the 30,000 naira minimum wage being received by workers is no longer tenable. Despite ongoing negotiations between the federal government and the organized labor, both teams have been unable to meet a compromise. While government has proposed about 60,000 naira against the figure being suggested by labor, this has been outrightly rejected by the labor negotiating team.
As of today, there is no minimum wage for Nigerian workers, technically, by the expiration of the act, by 18th of April. So as at now, we're operating without any law, backing up the minimum wage. They were talking about 100% increase. That's what they have offered. But the 100% increase amounts to 1 loaf of bread per day for 30 days. That's what it amounts. They are not looking at the quality or the value of what they are offering to us.
Another issue Labour is raising is the hike in electricity tariff. While recently, the union had protested, demanding a reversal, it is also calling on government to do the needful.
On the 13th of May, we had a protest to NEROC and to some of the discos, registering our displeasure. That up till today, there is no word from the government. Our demand was that there should be a reversal from 225 naira per kilowatt down to where it was before, 66 naira per kilowatt.
The president of the Trade Union Congress, Festus Osifo, during a joint news conference with the leadership of the Nigerian Labour Congress in Abuja, says Labour has concluded plans to commence an indefinite strike.
We are hereby declaring the commencement of a nationwide industrial action, a nationwide strike, effective from Monday, June 3rd, 2024. And this strike shall be indefinite. And this strike shall be on until we have a new national minimum wage.
Until we sign an agreement on what is mutually agreeable by the parties, our action will be on. But our action is not such that we will not equally negotiate. Because the two parties are now going to negotiate under duress. We're under pressure. They will be under pressure.
With many Nigerians still battling with the increasing cost of living, many are optimistic that government will yield to labor's demand and review the nation's minimum wage to a living wage.
Still on the proposed minimum wage strike, the Abia State chapter of the Nigerian Labour Congress has promised to comply with the directive of NLC and the Trade Union Congress to begin an indefinite nationwide strike on Monday. The NLC and TUC declared the strike on Friday following the federal government's failure to conclude and pass into law a new National Minimum Wage Act and reverse the hike in the electricity tariff to 65 naira per kilowatt hour. The Abia State NLC chairman Obunnaya Okoro disclosed this in an interview with newsmen on Friday, where he said that by this weekend, the state chapter will start mobilization and join others in the strike. The Chancellor of the Renaissance University, Uboka, His Grace Most Reverend Emmanuel Chukwuma, has called on the federal government to allow private universities in Nigeria to benefit from the Tertiary Education Trust Fund to enable them provide facilities for research. The retired Archbishop of Enugu Ecclesiastical Province, Anglican Communion, His Grace Most Reverend Emmanuel Chukwuma, was speaking at the 17th matriculation ceremony of Renaissance University at Uboka, Nkanu West Local Government Area, Enugu State, on Saturday. Signature TV correspondent Ebenezer Odo was there and now reports.
Retired Archbishop Emmanuel Chukwuma appraised the performance of the Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Thaddeus Eze, as outstanding, noting that he is in a hurry to develop the institution. His Grace Most Reverend Chukwuma tasked the matriculants to hit the road as their time at the university has started running. The Vice Chancellor, whose speech touched on all aspects of the education sector, pleaded with the federal government to allow the nation's private universities to benefit from the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, since they are all into research.
Right now, the university is going not in the old way, but in going on the courses that will make students to be very much self-employed. And they need equipment for this. So if that fund can do something to help them, it will help them to produce students that will be reliable and on their own.
The Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Thaddeus Eze, in his address explained that the university is a trailblazer in the provision of quality tertiary education in Nigeria. Professor Eze said that the institution operates 15 programs in their 3 colleges, pointing out that they are commencing their MBBS programs for medicine and surgery in the College of Medical and Health Sciences. He spoke more on the need to allow private universities benefit from the Tertiary Education Trust Fund.
That fund can dedicate specific projects to these private institutions that will help in training out, our children with better skills to, face the challenges of our wider society. And remember that these parents who bring these kids to private schools, they also pay taxes. And the money for TET fund comes from taxes.
High point of the ceremony was the admission of the matriculants as students of the university by the Vice Chancellor, as the deans of the faculties presented them to make their pledges and take their oaths of allegiance to the university. Professor Ifeanyi Amasiato, Dean, Faculty of Natural and Applied Sciences, captured the tone of education at the university.
Very, very decent. Anything of courtism or exam malpractice, something, nothing like that here in this school. We don't do it. Like sexual harassment is never done in this school. Anyway, if we are caught in any act of sexual harassment or anything like that, we are expelled.
Some of the parents whose children matriculated shared their joy this way.
They have a nice facility, and they also have good lecturers. And I'm expecting a wonderful result from my daughter.
I'm very happy because one of the matriculants is my daughter. Though she's in 300 level, but she came newly to this university. And the rule is that if you come on transfer to a new institution, you matriculate with them.
I know it's not easy, so I'll focus, I'll have my timetable, I'll continue read day and night, and explore more.
I'm expecting to come out with a first class honors, and I know that with the way I'm going, I'm very sure I'm going to get that.
A total of 200 students matriculated in the 17th matriculation ceremony of Renaissance University, Uboka. Ebenezer Otto, Signature TV News.
Zelensky arrives Singapore for Security Forum. This and more after the break. Welcome back. You're listening or watching the Signature TV News. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky arrived in Singapore for the Shangri-La Dialogue Conference on Saturday, where he planned to meet U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and discuss support for his embattled country in an address to delegates. Zelensky said in a statement on the social media platform X that he had come to gather support from the Asia-Pacific region for a peace summit planned for June 15 to 16 in Switzerland. Global security is impossible when the world's largest country disregards recognized borders, international law, and the UN Charter resorts to hunger, darkness, and nuclear blackmail, the statement said, referring to Russia, which invaded Ukraine in 2022. The statement said Zelensky planned to hold several meetings, including with Singapore's President Tharman Shanmugaratnam and Prime Minister Lawrence Wong, Timor-Leste President Jos Ramos Horta, Austin, and Singaporean investors. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak on Saturday urged Hamas to accept a ceasefire proposal announced by U.S. President Joe Biden on Friday. Speaking at an election campaign event in northeast England, Sunak said he hoped Hamas would accept the proposal and that a break in fighting could be used to build a sustainable and lasting peace. Hamas, which Biden said received the proposal from Qatar, released a statement reacting positively. Hamas said it was ready to engage positively and in a constructive manner with any proposal based on a permanent ceasefire, withdrawal of Israel forces, the reconstruction of Gaza, a return of those displaced, and a genuine prisoner swap deal if Israel clearly announces commitment to such deal. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said on Saturday there could be no permanent ceasefire in Gaza until Hamas was destroyed. Sunak also criticized opposition leader Keir Starmer, saying he doesn't stick by anything he says, just constantly changes his mind after Starmer's Labour Party said that Diane Abbott, Britain's first black woman lawmaker, would be able to run in July 4th election after confusion over her candidacy sparked a backlash within the party. Abbott had been suspended by the party for over a year after she said Jewish, Irish, and traveller people did not face racism all their lives. The lawmaker, who apologized for the remarks, was reinstated to the party this week, but media reports said that she would be barred from raising questions about her future in the Labour Party. Starmer then told reporters that Abbott was free to contest her seat in North East London. Labour is leading Sunak's Conservative Party by around 20 points in opinion polls. South Africa's far-left Economic Freedom Fighters EFF leader Julius Malema on Saturday congratulated voters for denying the ruling ANC an outright majority in this week's elections, forcing it into coalition talks after a surprise challenge from a new party formed by former President Jacob Zuma. In a media address, Malema said that the African National Congress, ANC, which took over from white minority rule in 1994, had failed to renew its parliamentary majority in a part to the strong performance of Zuma's Umkhonto weSizwe MK party, which drew significant support in the former president's home province of KwaZulu-Natal. He acknowledged the 2024 election campaign had been unexpectedly tough for the EFF, which promotes nationalization and land exploration because of the MK's entry into the contest. Official results from the election are expected in the coming days. They will show whether President Cyril Ramaphosa can maintain power by getting the ANC's potential coalition partners to back him staying on as president. Zuma, who led South Africa from 2009 to 2018, formed MK after he was jailed for contempt of court in 2021 for refusing to give evidence at an inquiry into corruption during his time in power. Let's move over to some entertainment stories. Nigerian Afrobeat singer Terry Akewe, professionally known as Terry, has opened up on the challenges he has faced in his music career, including health issues, cyberbullying, and sacrifices he's made in pursuit of his passion. In a series of posts via X on Saturday, Terry revealed ulcer complications, anxiety issues, in and out of the hospital, crazy hospital bills, mom losing her mind, all for the music. Jesus never fails. We go win finally. The artist signed to Wizkid's Starboy Records rose to prominence after featuring on Wizkid's track Soccer and has since released his debut EP Afro series with hit songs like Shoe, Turn On Me, Bia, and Same You. However, Terry's journey, according to him, has been far from smooth, stating that he has lost friendships, family, and that he was just trying to find himself. Acknowledging the toll the industry has taken on him, the singer also revealed that he had to sacrifice his education to pursue music. Terry further noted his struggles with cyberbullying, which has been a challenge to him. In sports, Everton's takeover agreement with prospective owner 777 Partners has expired. The Premier League club said on Saturday after the U.S. private equity firm failed to complete the acquisition of Fahad Moshiri's majority stake by the Friday's deadline. In September, the Miami-based investment fund said it had signed an agreement with British-Iranian billionaire Moshiri to acquire his 94.1% stake in the club. The deal, initially expected to be closed by the end of 2023, was delayed by as 777 Partners reportedly struggled to meet the necessary conditions outlined by the Premier League to complete their purchase. Moshiri, a former Arsenal shareholder, first bought a 49.9% stake in Everton in 2016. By January 2022, he had increased his stake to 94.1% with a £100 million capital injection. But despite investing nearly 750 million euros in transfers to build the squad since Moshiri's arrival, Everton have slipped out of the top half of the table to fight relegation battles in recent seasons. The club finished 15th in the Premier League after being hit with 2 separate point deductions for breaching profit and sustainability rules. Everton are now free to talk to other investors or interested investors, with reports making the rounds that Crystal Palace co-owner John Textor, who is looking to sell his majority stake in the London club, would consider Everton as an opportunity. And that's the news this hour. Thanks for watching. I'm Charles Pius. Take care.